Our next presenter is Beata Linz from the Netherlands. She's a consultant for brand, digital, and email marketing with 15 years of experience. And she will talk about, what are you going to talk about, Beata? Hello.
Hi, good morning. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm very excited. And I'm going to talk about how email marketing can elevate multi-channel success. So I'm looking forward to take the previous presentation to even further conversations. I really loved your presentation, Clara, so thank you for presenting. And let me share my screen. 1 second.
We are live.
Yep.
Do you see it well?
Yes. Cool.
Okay, perfect. So just move this around. So welcome, everyone. I'm going to talk about email marketing, elevating multi-channel success, and a little bit about myself. My name is Beata Linz, and I'm the Global CRM Director and Consultant on CRM and email marketing for the last 5 years. Before that, I was at Nike for 10 years, where I built up email marketing for Europe. And I was very happy to get into the space of emails, where I fell in love with the channel. But I also realized that actually it's not just about email, it's about multi-channel, and we would talk about omni-channel as well. Before I move on, I would like you all to first put on your helmets and get ready for this absolutely amazing journey. You might know that I really like referencing different movies or Star Wars and similar. So let me try to bring you in that direction. So I'm your co-pilot today, and enjoy the ride. So a long, long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, there were different kinds of worlds, different kinds of data worlds, and worlds as we know them. You might have heard about zero-party data, where users are providing their data deliberately, or first-party data, where we're actually learning about them based on their click activity, their purchases, and everything they do beyond the click. There might be even second-party data. Some say it doesn't even exist, which is about selling different kind of databases. So I'm not even going to talk about that. But then the most important part is the third party data, which, oh, it's going away. You might have heard about this. Actually, Google is closing the loop, and they are going to phase out third-party cookies, which means that email is actually going to bring a much higher advantage, and it's going to help other channels even better. So let us talk about that. 83% of consumers are willing to share their data in exchange for a more personalized experience. So even though we are actually going to a more private world, removing third-party cookies, removing different ways of tracking, but people are still wanting a personalized experience. So how can we do that for them, and how can we help? Luckily, we have a hero in town against the cookieless world. So I think you all know about it. If you are doing email marketing, I hope you have the helmet on, because Meet Email Marketing, which is the first and the cookie-free marketing channel, which can elevate the multi-channel effort. So I hope you feel a little bit of proud that you are part of this, and you are part of this this email marketing heroes group. And I'm very excited to go through all the different aspects of what we can do as email marketing. So you, as email marketer, I assume you're watching this, you're doing some kind of emails, or you are going to do, you have some superpowers. But let's see first what others are actually experiencing.
And do you know what's the place where people are the most excited? Emails. Have you read any emails lately? Every email somebody is excited about something. Like I recently stayed at a hotel, and the hotel asked for my email so they can like put me in some bonuses or something. And I said, why not, sure. And then the following day, I got an email from the hotel and said that we are super excited. that you have joined our membership program, and we can't wait for you to enjoy your benefits. And I replied back, well, I'm sorry, but you will have to wait. Do you know what's the place?
Well, I think you might experience this as well. And if you know Ismo, it's great. If not, I really recommend to check out his channel. I love his comedy show, and this was one of the first that actually caught my attention. So let us walk through his multi-channel experience, right? Because he went to a hotel, so he went to an offline channel, so to say. He saw the membership benefit. He then gave consent to opt in. Then he received the welcome email. Then he engaged with the welcome email. He actually replied. And eventually he said he's going to be a returning customer later. Fantastic. So let us walk us through what is going to be the superpower here. Well, superpower number one is capturing the zero and the first party data that actually Ismo has provided as well. But how do you do that? And I think this is what Clara, you also talked about in the previous presentation, and I totally agree. What if you just ask? You just ask your audience what they really want. So is it really this kind of newsletters that they are interested in, or is it only promotional content? And of course, do you know their age, and so that you can send them birthday messaging? There are so many different kinds of questions you can ask them. You just ask them, what if you just get to the point and say, tell us more about yourself. But let's start with how you actually start doing that, how you capture that data. So you need to leverage all the different tools for email opt-in. I don't have to go into all the details here. Of course, it would be best to include some kind of email opt-in option, subscribe button above the fold, have a sticky bar, have an exit pop-up, I will show in a moment, or of course have a checkbox or a tick box at the checkout, maybe even have a yes/no question, and of course A/B test. I will always mention this. A/B testing is a huge opportunity for you to figure out what is the best for you. Here is an example of Save the Children, where they did a test as an exit pop-up. Very interesting to see that they actually looked at whether a version would include a yes and no question. So would you like to stay informed? Yes, no. Or the control version, which is what a lot of people do, sign up to stay informed with the field, and then also the sign up button. Interesting to see that actually 35% more opt-ins came through the yes and no question and converted to become an opt-in. So this is something that you might want to test as well. Is this relevant for your own audience acquisition? Then the superpower, this number one superpower, you can also expand by asking exactly the right amount of data that you need in balance with your value proposition. So what's the benefit? What's in it for them? You need to, of course, balance that with what you're actually asking. So there are some basic rules, like the fewer fields, the higher the volume of leads, or the more fields, the higher quality leads. So you can also see, based on the benefit that you're providing, the amount of questions that you're asking, you see what are the amount of leads that you're actually getting and what is the quality of them. And of course, always A/B test. Here are some insights that you can see from others, and you can maybe learn from them in terms of how many fields and how many data points they are asking. Number one data point, obviously, I would think has the highest conversion rate. It's very interesting to see also the end of this at the end of this chart. But I would say the sweet spot is between 1 and 3, that you want to keep your conversion of email opt-ins higher. And really interesting to test it for yourself as well. So let's look at even further. What else can we use this superpower for? So we can provide the right benefit, right? And the value exchange for your leads. And of course, you need to figure out what is your business needing, what you are offering as the right incentive. If it's something like a discount, for example, sign up for 10% off if on your first purchase, then there is something that you can maybe discuss and also consider for the later communications, that you are monitoring the one and done, those who are only subscribing for that 10%. Will they subscribe again and again with a different email address? how do you encourage them to stay away from that and have rather just one email and have a longer engagement via that one email and via that one subscription? It can be done with your automations. And of course, what we are talking about today in a moment, cross-channel efforts. Membership programs, we could talk about that for hours. I only have one little call out here. Membership programs can provide the highest and the longest engagement, especially if they are thought out well. So that's something that you can think about beyond the email subscriptions. Membership programs can really gather the best zero and first party data even. So I really think this is something that everybody can look into. And if this is something that you're interested in, we can talk about that later outside of this presentation. Something interesting to see, I found this stat, and I really think it's important for you also to A/B test what is the incentive for your business. Here you could see the form with a discount had actually 5.9% opt-in rate, but a form without a discount had 3.8% opt-in rate. So which one would you like to go for? Having a higher or a bigger volume of one and done customers with a discount, or maybe some people who are actually signing up for your value that you are bringing as a business and not just for that one discount with the 3.8% opt-in rate. So this is something that you want to also discover yourself. What is your goal? One and done, as much revenue as possible at the beginning, or a long-term relationship. And you can enrich that data. So they opted in, and then you can use progressive profiling techniques to hear from your subscribers firsthand what they are interested in. As again, to your previous point, ask them. You can literally just ask, what is your birth date? I would like to make sure that I can send you a birthday gift. Or what are you interested in? Very, very simple questions. Of course, there are preference centers, and then I think it's really important to keep in mind preference centers can be made more fun and easier to navigate. And I think a lot of businesses are focusing on that. But it's not the only thing that you can do. I think progressive profiling by asking little questions along the journey of the subscriber is going to feel that preference center better and in an easier and more seamless way for your subscribers. And then, of course, you have to capture and analyze your subscribers' actions and interests beyond they open an email, beyond they are actually doing activities within your email. So it's very important that you capture that first-party data too. But very important and very interesting is the gamification. I really think gamification is a huge opportunity to drive the highest engagement and enrich your data even further. Here I have a little example. This is for ASICS. They have a runner personality quiz where they had 90% completion rate and 71% redirect rate. And you can see, I try to walk you through it. It's really something that people would be interested about. I did this myself. I'm a runner. I run mid-lengths. I run because I want to relieve stress. I have a good relationship with running, but also at the same time, I'm not like someone who needs to run for a marathon. I don't have any interest in racing, so thank you so much. But I usually buy a new pair of running shoes when they become old, and I use also different kinds of, or I do other kinds of workouts as well. So yeah, thank you. It's great to know what my preference is going to be and what my personality is. Finish. Yay, I'm a lifestyle runner. It explains me what kind of runner I am, what's my personality. I think it's very addicted to fill in these kind of quizzes, and then it gives me recommendations based on the information that I have provided. And it captured all my data, and now they are able to provide all the data back to me via email marketing or even other channels. So I think this is a great example of how we can actually drive engagement and capture audience with even more enriching the data. So the email superpowers are beyond the first and the zero-party data enrichment and catching the data. That's the very, very first one. There are many, many more that you, email marketing heroes on this call as well, are actually bringing with you. You have the legal contract with the subscriber via the consent, hopefully, or dependent on your local law as well, but it's a very important part. You have, of course, supporting tools like the website, the CRM tool, or your email service provider, analytics, and so on, that you are able to rely on. Of course, very important parts that you understand your audience and you can segment your audience and then target your audience. And then eventually you can also personalize towards your audience with the data that you have. And then you have a strategic mindset. So you're looking to the future with the right goals and make sure that you're reaching your goals with test and learn methodology as well. So you continuously optimize. So you have so many superpowers already in your back pocket. I wouldn't even think why the other channels not want to talk to you. You are bringing the first and zero-party data and all your tools, all your superpowers. So here we are, bringing the zero and first-party data and all our superpowers. How do we get on with our journey? Well, we need to team up with the other channels. We need to remove the silos. So did you know that people actually engage so many different touch points before they shop? This is one of the studies. There are many. Some studies I have seen seven different touch points. This one said 11, so I chose this one because this is maybe a little bit more shocking. But it's very interesting to see that people are actually going and using different touch points online and offline. Here's another example just to see how users are moving from actually just multi-channel to omni-channel. So that means that they are not just looking at that all the specific channels within themselves, but they are looking at interchangeably. So here you see the paths of purchase for US shoppers from actually discovery. So they are thinking about what they are going to buy to the point of buying. And the question was in this study, where are you most likely to research and compare products before buying? Obviously, a lot of people are going online, they search, they are on a retail site, they are looking at the retail apps and so on. So they are looking at a lot of online options before they go to a physical store, because it seems that in the US, 40% begin with a retail site and make their final purchase in a physical store. So we need to be omni-channel. We need to make sure that everything that we do is connected from email to all the channels, from online to offline. If we only think about email as well, we all know that just opening an email and clicking on an email, it doesn't stop there. Obviously, clicking on an email is one of the most important things that we want people to do. So here's a study from the UK. What does the user, or in our case, because we are email marketeers, what does the subscriber do after opening an email? Well, of course, a lot of people click on the link, but they also go to mobile app and the website, not necessarily via the link, or maybe save the email for later date. Have you thought about this as well, that emails might be opened at a certain point, but actually reopened and saved for a later date because there was an information within that email that they found interesting? Or they go to a physical or a high street shop, or okay, they don't find anything interesting. So the list goes on. They are doing a lot of different activities outside of that click as well. So we need to remove the channel silos. How are we going to do that? I oversimplified it. There are many aspects, but let's focus on these three things: the audience-centric targeting, seamless multi to actually omni-channel experience, and what are the dependencies and the challenges that we are still facing and slowly figuring it out. So audience-centric targeting. First and foremost, you need to understand your audience and their interests. Well, I think it's a no-brainer. You need to see who they are. The more information you know about them, the better. So you can analyze the data that's available for you, including that zero and first-party data, but you can also do research with quantitative and qualitative research. You can listen to them via your main contact holders, for example, customer service or your sales team. And then you can also get their input via surveys. And after you have all this information, then you can create your personas and understand what are different types of customers or users or interested in subscribers in your database and in your target audience that you want to reach out to, and then you can target them. After you understood your audience and created your personas, you can also map out the customer journey. So you can look at the different touch points, online and offline. You can look at the different channels. You can even look at what is the type of messaging that they are receiving at what point in time. And then straight away, you can realize, oh, there is a misalignment. We are sending a thank you message right after they subscribed, but we are also sending an order confirmation email. They look completely different. They are coming from different sent from names and everything, and it might be very confusing for your subscribers. What is this? Am I receiving from the same retailer or from the same company, or am I actually being scammed here? They need to make sure that everything is seamless across the points. And that's where the seamless multi-tool, actually omni-channel experience is coming in place. So we need to make sure that our experiences that we are serving our audiences are holistic and seamless, which will then ultimately boost your brand awareness and then increase customer engagement and their lifetime value. Here you see an example on the right-hand side from Sephora. They have a bag account, which you can use in store and online. You can even have online try-ons or tryouts, and you can save things on your wish list. So there are many ways that you can interact with the brand online and offline and via different channels, but everything is holistic and seamless, and the brand makes sure that you always feel part of this, and you are always having the right benefit that you're getting out of your subscription. I think this is very no-brainer again, having different content between the different channels. Here's just an example for having email marketing mentioning social media, for example, CTAs crossing the different social media channels, or including user-generated content within the emails, or vice versa, including email sign-up options in social media so that people can actually sign up and subscribe to your email marketing. Of course, when there are the right benefits and incentives, that's even easier. But this is like in my opinion, the absolute minimum that we can do. Another option that we can do, and I think this is expanding even more, is taking advantage of the zero and first-party data that you have been collecting and use that as a list, enriching the retargeting and remarketing lists that your paid media team is actually using. There is a little caveat here. I would like to mention that you need to be aware efficiency versus granularity, because the smaller and the more granular your CRM audiences, the lower the match rate is going to be towards your audience in paid media. So the effectiveness might be actually different. So it's something that you need to make sure that you are talking with your paid media teams and figure this out and test it together. What's the right audience, and what are the different life cycle stages that you can actually do this and reach out to retarget or remarket your audiences outside of email marketing. And then we come to challenges and dependencies. And I think there is a longer list. I try to just keep it as short as possible because of time. The attribution dilemma. So I would like to ask you the question, how do you measure success for each of the channels right now? And I see with a lot of my clients, and I think this is happening all over the world, and it's changing, but it's not easy to change, because if the answer is last touch attribution and it's only based on revenue, then there's a high chance that your teams will most probably compete against each other for every single cent. So in that case, the email channel will be successful when you're sending, for example, sale emails. But if you are sending regular newsletters or regular product launches that maybe are not so hype, they are not going to be as effective as your sale emails, and your channel, so to say, is going to look worse against other channels. And in that case, if you are being celebrated, if you bring as much revenue to the table based on that last click, that they clicked on your email and bought straight away, that's going to be very hard for you as an email marketer to constantly bring that. This is the time that we need to really think about removing the last touch thinking and think about multi-channel. So here I have an example, what Uber says when they are actually talking about multi-channel, multi-touch attribution, because they are looking at all the different channels and how they are going through their journey, how the users are going through their journey, and then attributing the right channels to the right actions. And it's a lot fairer, I would say, than saying that last touch when you clicked on an email, for example, and then you bought something from that email almost, is that when you are, that's the only time when you're successful. So we need to remove that thinking. One way to do that, if there is no like quick fix, and I know this is like something that's not something that email marketers can figure out within themselves. It's a really wide conversation with the analytics teams and the performance marketing team in general. There is a lot that needs to go behind this, but I really recommend to look at contribution, how email marketing contributes beyond that sale email, beyond that 10% off or your very first welcome email with the discount in it. How you're contributing to the overall channel performance beyond that last touch. So it's something that you can start maybe implementing and showing to your peers, to your performance marketing and digital marketing team friends and analytics teams, that yes, actually we are contributing in a different way, and not necessarily just bam, it's sale, I bought it because it was 10 minutes left, and that's the attribution that email marketing gets. Another challenge, siloed data and insights and disconnected platforms. I'm not going to go into details here. This is a very, very complex topic. There are a lot of different options that are already out there, and there are even more that are being developed. But I think it's good to see that you can choose from the different ecosystem of the tech platforms, or you can start using single tech platforms, for example, to see that ESPs and CDPs are getting closer in their functionalities. So you will be able to actually capture data and then send your marketing messages out of one platform faster and in a much more seamless way. So I see that happening, but we are not there yet. So there is a lot of conversation around this happening, and I'm looking forward to see how this era is going to improve. And then let's see. And then last but not least, team and OKR alignment. So in my opinion, this is actually one of the biggest topics. Of course, data and platforms are very important as well, but it all comes down to leadership and what does the leadership team believe in. If the leadership team is aligned that we need to think multi-channel, omni-channel, and not just on a siloed channel, if they think that we need to look at the audience first and be audience-centric, then the changes can happen. Then they can enable that the right teams will start working closely together. So in this case, I would say digital or just marketing teams in general start working more closely with each other. I'm talking different channels within digital or just marketing teams as well. So all the different channel owners, email, paid media, and so on, with sales as well, and other areas like customer service. And everybody syncs because then they will be able to enable that the connected platform conversation and the right data. They can have the right work streams, and then ultimately they will create that seamless experience. So if everybody works in silos and don't talk to each other, and it doesn't come also from the top, understanding that this is so important, it will be very difficult for the teams to make it successful towards their audiences, and make sure that their audience is having the right seamless experience. And besides that, setting up the clear goals Objectives and key requirements, so OKRs, is extremely important, because then everybody aligns on them. Excuse me. They agree to that. Especially beyond the last touch. I'm very obsessed about that. And especially that everybody is in the same boat is going to be very important for the future. And of course, everybody needs to be part of the continuously customer journey mapping and the updates and optimization and all of that. So we are all in this together. We need to do this together and optimize everything together for our audiences and success. So key takeaways. Of course, we are collecting already the zero and first party data. So well done heroes, well done everyone. And you are using your tools and your superpowers. And if not, you are continuously empowering yourself of doing that and learning about that. At least that's why you're also on this call. I presume you're learning. I'm learning so much from you guys as well. And then audience-centric targeting, so removing the channel silos, and then leveraging the data you have across your ecosystem. And of course, you create seamless experiences across your ecosystem, and then you have to work to remove the silos with the right teams, removing the silos between data and platforms. And ultimately, we are all in this together. So email can elevate success for all channels and reach multi or rather omni-channel excellence if we are working on this together. So hashtag we are in this together. May the force be with you. Thank you so much. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, thank you.
Very, very good presentations. Yeah, there are some questions from the audience. What is the sweet spot where the target doesn't feel bombarded with emails? Okay. Do you have some kind of a clue maybe for that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we have been doing some analysis and exercise to figure out when is it too much or when is it too little. I think the most important is that you are segmenting and targeting your audience based on their engagement. So the more they engage, the more they are most probably interested to receive more communications. And it is normal to send them, I don't know, 2-3 emails a week. It depends on what you're sending right now. So, and what your product is or your value is that you're providing. But the more they engage, the more they would be actually open to receive more communications from you. So that's a very important part. Figure out the life cycle stages of your audience and serve them with the right amount of emails or newsletters or automations based on that stage. So if they are at the very beginning and they are very engaged, they might receive 2-3 emails a week. And if they're unengaged and maybe don't even open your email or they haven't gone to your website in the last 1 year, maybe once a week is already too much. Maybe it's once every 2 weeks that you should send, but you should never stop sending. The most important is that you keep on sending up until the 2-year mark, which is when you start beyond the 2-year mark. If you keep on sending to absolutely unengaged audience, then you might get into trouble. But I would let the deliverability guys to talk about that.
But just like continuing this question, so you said that like keep sending, but if I don't have to say anything, just only, I don't know, 4 times in the year, so what the clients or my recipients just forgetting me and the other stuff what's going on, like killing my brand awareness, or do I have to send, or can I send like only 4 times a year and think that they will remember me?
Yes, I think that's a really good question. I think you can definitely send 4 times a year. But the more you need to think about this as every single time you send an email, and even if people don't open it, it's still in your inbox, and they plant the seed. It plants the seed in your head about your brand. It sees that, hey, it's, I don't know, ASICS, because that was the example that I wrote earlier. I don't need running shoes right now, but I keep getting ASICS emails, and maybe the next time when I need a running shoe, I'm going to go to ASICS because it's planted and it's nurtured.
Okay.
I'm not saying it should be every day, but I think 4 times a year might be too little. Also from deliverability reasons, that you want to engage with your audience more often. I would say once a month is a minimum, but again, maybe the deliverability people on this call would talk to me in a different way about this. But I really encourage to send at least once a month, and find the right content. You can repurpose content if you have nothing to talk about. You can refer to other content that you are open about, that hey, this is something interesting for my audience. Maybe I have not created it, but I worked together with another content creator. I think Adriana, you talked about this as well earlier. Then you can co-create something together, and then you reach out to the audience, to your audience that might be interested in that content. And you can also think about recaps. You have sent X emails in the last year, or this last month, this last week. The recap of those emails might be also interesting for your audience. So if they haven't engaged with you for some time, and you are not sending them 2-3 emails a week because they are not engaged that much, you might just want to send them one recap email a month and say, this is what you missed. We just launched this and this and this and this and that. This is very interesting topic you might be interested in. It's like just a recap of everything that happened. And at least you stay in their inbox, you stay in their top of their mind at some point, and keep nurturing that seed.
Okay.
So I would say more than 4 times would be better.
Actually, this is also what we say to our clients. It depends. If you have anything important to say, important to the customer, not to you, then send away, even if it's every day. Yeah.
Okay, I have like just this radical idea that if I'm selling the Christmas trees, what I'm gonna send like all the other times that
There are
I will
300
send the pictures how they are growing.
There are, oh yeah, that's a good idea. And there are 365 days. You can sell one decoration every day.
Oh, nice idea.
Okay.
sounds good.
Would you have more examples of how to make preference centers more fun?
Yes, that's a great question. I think preference centers can be very boring just by asking for data by fields. Let me know of your birthday, bam. Or tell me what you're interested in. Include imagery, very easy, or icons. I actually had a slide in the presentation, but then I deleted it because it was already very long. I think Adidas has a really good example within their preference center where they include different icons, what kind of sport you are interested in. So it's not a checkbox, but it's really like, okay, I'm into football or basketball or anything like that. And then just general imagery would also work. And gamification, I think, is like the future of the preference center, and asking the right way, and include some kind of gamification into your preference center, like what I showed here as the Jebit example. Could be something that I would love to see. But again, I think preference center is not the end goal here that people should get to. I think the end goal is that you ask your audience during different checkpoints that you're anyway sending to them, that they are anyways going through, and you build their profile slowly but steadily, and you just give them the option for the preference center that they can always change. Like they might start having kids at some point, while before that they did not, and they might want to add that information in the preference center, or they might want to remove having interest in kids products from your preference center because they all went to university and you don't need to buy shoes for 4-year-olds anymore. So I think preference centers are rather used for as the option to update at the very end of the data enrichment, and you rather ask smaller questions during their experiences.
Very good. I have one more question. How often do you recommend doing an in-depth analysis across the ecosystem? For example, because it can be challenging when leveraging operations. Sorry.
Absolutely, yeah. The challenging operations, and in general, this is challenging. It can be very challenging across the different teams and how the company is set up, how the business is set up, and also what impact can you make. But I think making it once first will open eyes, and you will be able to share with your peers and with your leadership team that this is the situation, these are the things that we need to change, what are the priorities that we can change, and then let's say 1 year from now, when we already implemented those with the right goals and OKRs, we will be able to track that, and we will be able to redo this exercise and make sure that this ecosystem, this customer journey that we changed to something better is actually working, and now we can move on to the next one. So I think the question is rather, you do the journey mapping first, but then you keep track of it. You keep track of what you changed, that you prioritize what you need to change, and you keep track of that, and you continuously look at, okay, if I don't know, for example, make the transactional emails look the same as your marketing emails, did that change any of the engagement and the lifetime value? I don't know, I'm just making things up very quickly. Then I can move on to the next priority and the next priority. So you always keep on looking at what the journey looks like, and how that journey changes based on the optimization plan that you created with this. So I think it's not how often you do it, you do it once, and then you continuously look at it and optimize it.
Okay, thank you. How do you feel about microsegmentation? You had a slide in your presentation where you said that having too many segments with small number of customers inside might not be that good. But for example, when targeting in microsegments, the subjects are unified in their need. So basically, you know everything about those 5 persons that are in one microsegment, but you have 1,000 segments. So how much is too much?
Or how much is too
Little.
small?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think maybe I wasn't very clear on that slide, so it's good that you call it out, because what I meant there is the segment of your audience that you take out from your CRM data towards paid media, because paid media normally works with large audiences.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And if you talk about personalization within your CRM platform and within your CRM audience, is very different to what I'm talking about, of taking that audience and matching it up with the huge amount of data that your paid media team is working with. And that's when the match rate can actually be a complication or a difficulty, because the match rate from your CRM audience to the big audience might be lower, and it might actually increase the effect, or it might affect the effectiveness of your paid media efforts. That's what I meant. So segmentation within CRM and email marketing, I think, is extremely important. That the more you can personalize based on the data that you have available within your email marketing, the better. That's I'm all up for that. So it's not that, it's more about what happens outside of email.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you for bringing that up.
That's okay. If anyone has any more questions, you can talk directly to Beata in the chat. And thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.